Hi, my name is Tobias Dubasco. Welcome to this tutorial about Unreal Engine 5. Unreal Engine 5 dropped yesterday. So yeah, Unreal Engine 5 is of course a really big step. You know, it's a big leap and incredible that we have like the possibility to check it out already. I think it looks amazing. Yeah, so let's take a look at how we can port one of our Unreal Engine 4 projects into Unreal Engine 5. So this is an Unreal Engine 4 project that I have, which has just a few assets in it and like a little scene and so on. It's not something really complicated or fancy. And yeah, I'm just gonna port it over to Unreal Engine 5. So there is a few ways of doing it. You could migrate all of your content over, or you can just basically take the entire project and change it to Unreal Engine 5. So make a copy of your project because you don't want to fuck with your original Unreal Engine 4 project. I mean, Unreal Engine 5 is looking good, but it's still early access, right? So some things might be broken, and yeah, just don't fuck with your old project. So I'm just going to copy this entire project, basically duplicating it. Of course, you need to download the Unreal Engine 5 first. I have downloaded it already. It's actually pretty similar size to Unreal Engine 4. And the way to do it, I think, is over here. You have to go on the Unreal Engine 5 tab and then download Early Access over there. If you want this example project here, you just have to scroll down, and then there is the get sample, and you can just download the sample. It's 100 gigabytes though. The file size due to all the Nanite assets is insane. And once you have duplicated your project, you can just go on the project file, right click on it, switch Unreal Engine version, and then go from whatever version you're on to 5. Hit OK and just launch. It's as easy as that in theory. It will then, well, it has a custom background for the project, and it will then tell you here that it's running Unreal Editor 5, and it will compile a lot of shaders. Like this might very well take I don't know, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, something like that. And it's the shader compiling is actually using all my CPU cores here. So the more CPU cores you have, the faster this will go for you. Like you can see, all of my cores are 100% used. So yeah, if you have a Threadripper or something like that, this will go faster than it is on my machine now. So I'll be back in a second once the shader compiling is done. The shader compiling is finally done and my scene is back up. It asks me the project file is out of date. Do you want to update? I'm just going to update that one. And then you can see it's still compiling 13,000 shaders here on the top left. Of course, all the interface is new. Well, more or less. And yeah, I think that was already successful. As you can see, the meshes are still old meshes. Well, with old, I mean they're not Nanite meshes, but they're just normal Megascans assets. And then, yeah, I think it's looking great. Of course, the shader compiling will take a long time here to just kind of compile everything in the background. What you should be able to do already is go here on Content and then Quixel Bridge. If you do not see this, which was the case for me the first time I ran the engine, make sure you have the latest version of Bridge downloaded here. Try to open Bridge, try to open the Unreal Engine first and then close it again. And I'm not sure what exactly fixed it for me. I think when I opened the example project, like the one from the launcher, then I was able to, like this example project here, that one, then I was able to see this button. And that is kind of the new Bridge integration. And that allows you to instantly pull meshes over from Bridge into the engine. And one thing to keep in mind there is that Nanite meshes, well, they need to be authored in a certain way. And these ones here, for example, they are not Nanite meshes. They're just the normal static meshes coming directly out of Quixel, because of course they are from our old project. And if we wanted a new project now, and we go on the Quixel bridge, and then you will have to change the asset to be a Nanite asset. So if we would just take an arbitrary one of these ground meshes, and you go on it, you can see the quality here. And there is a Nanite quality. And then, of course, I have to sign in first. I'm quickly going to do that. And then once you are signed in, and you can change this, well, as I said, to Nanite, and then just drag and drop into the level. It's as easy as that to add new assets. And then you can see here the asset is kind of downloading in the background. But one of the great things is that you can already see the asset here. It will just update in time. I think you should even be able to see a material. Right now it's just shader compiling in the background so much that you can't see the material at the moment. But usually you would already see a material and a low resolution version basically of the mesh. So you can kind of already place it where you want it to be, and so on and so forth. One thing that I noted is that tessellation is gone entirely. At least I couldn't find it. So if I would go on a material, so usually if you would type tessellation here, you would be able to specify some tessellation parameters, but that section is just entirely gone out of the material. So I assume they are just making tessellation entirely deprecated, because with Nanite you don't need to tessellate the meshes more. It's already tessellated enough, right? So there is no need to use tessellation at all anymore, and that is why it's gone out of the material. I'm going to let these shaders compile and the asset download finish, and then I'm going to come back to you and show you just a few things. Okay, my shaders have finally finished compiling, and my Megascans asset is downloaded. So this is the Nanite asset in here. Well, it looks good, of course it does. And if you would go into the wireframe more, you can already see that it's basically not listed here. But now if you would go onto Nanite visualization and then, for example, triangles, then you can see that it's a Nanite mesh. And also if you would open it up, you can kind of see the triangles. In this case, it's only 2000. Well, only, but it's, yeah, it's just an indication to see how many triangles you have. And also there's basically no LODs, right? It doesn't LOD. Like with the new temporal anti-aliasing solution, you don't get any flickering, even though you don't have any LODs, which is quite cool actually. And yeah, it looks good. In general, there is a few settings that you have now here in the post-process volume for Lumen. For example, here, global illumination, you can kind of select the solution you want. For some reason, this was not ticked, so we are actually not seeing Lumen. Now we can see Lumen, and it's a massive change. Everything looks incredible, of course. You could also use ray tracing, but I would not advise you to do it. It's just not worth at all. Like, I would just use Lumen everywhere. You have a few quality settings in here. The ray traced reflections, you can even still use the ray traced reflections, but I'm just going to change that to Lumen 2. You can see a minor change there. But yeah, I think it's just performance-wise, it's just better to use Lumen all over the place to get the maximum amount of FPS. And I think that basically was the Lumen changes. Like I think ambient occlusion, there is no Lumen. I'm not sure if that is included basically in the global illumination. And this doesn't seem to make a difference either. So I assume as soon as you have global illumination enabled, the ambient occlusion is obsolete basically. And in the skylight, you still have these the distance field ambient occlusion available. I think that is still being applied. You can kind of see it in the background. So that one still works. Yeah, and honestly, that already looks fantastic. Just porting that over, and then you can kind of build your scene with Nanite meshes, right? Of course, you can still use the old ones. I mean, they still look incredible, right? But I just think it makes more sense to have everything being built with Nanite meshes instead, rather than mixing the two. One thing that I want to show you as well is that you could also migrate content over the traditional way from one project to another, even if you have an Unreal Engine 4 project. You can just go on any folder or any asset, right-click, migrate. And if I would do that here, for example, it's going to tell you which assets it would migrate. So in this case, these two folders and this asset here. And then you can hit OK and just select another project. And the same goes, of course, the other way around. So if I would open my Unreal Engine 4 project, this one here, the old one, basically, I can migrate content over to Unreal Engine 5 from Unreal Engine 4. So if I would not have duplicated the entire project, for example, so if I would want to migrate like a certain asset over, for example, these ones here, and I go migrate, OK, and then I can just select the copy with the Unreal Engine 5, basically the Unreal Engine 5 folder, and then I go into content and just select that folder and hit OK. Right now it's going to give me an error because obviously this folder already exists in my project, so it makes no sense to migrate. But yeah, that's how you can migrate individual assets over into your Unreal Engine 5 projects. And yeah, I hope you're gonna have a play around with it and this was helpful to you. And yeah, enjoy the new engine and I'll see you soon.